Hey everyone, this video would be the continuation of the previous video, and in this video we will discuss about the pathogenesis of the osteoarthritis and the rheumatoid arthritis with the help of a diagram as well as their difference and their pathogenesis. So first of all, we are going to discuss about the osteoarthritis. What is its pathogenesis? So first of all, as you know that there is a chondrocyte injury because of the repeated biomechanical stress, as I've told you in the previous video. Okay, so genetic factors are also responsible. Genetic factors and the biomechanical stress would cause the chondrocyte injury. And although the chondrocytes are proliferating, but what happens is that the chondrocyte degradation exceeds more than the synthesis, and that's what lead to the development of the osteoarthritis. So here you can see that they are being degraded. So these are the chondrocytes, and this is synovium. Now we are going to see their role in the pathogenesis. So when there was a stress, so they are injured. Now this is leading to the early osteoarthritis. So here you can see that the chondrocytes are proliferating. They are attempting to cope with the injury, but what happens is that they cannot cope with that because the degradation is very much. So here you can see that they are being degraded. That's why they are releasing some prostaglandins, and the nitric oxide as well as the TNF factors are being released by it when these chondrocytes are being degraded. And on the other hand, the synovium are also getting damaged. That is why they are releasing the TGF beta, and this TGF beta would stimulate these chondrocytes to release the MMPs, and these MMPs are now degrading the collagen, right? And these chondrocytes are also releasing some other enzymes like the aggregations, and these are responsible for degrading the proteoglycans. You have seen now that how the chondrocytes are causing the damage to the whole cartilage. Now this would also progress to the damage of the bone. Okay, let's see what happens in the late osteoarthritis. So in the late osteoarthritis, what you can see is that there is a loss of bone matrix and the chondrocytes, right? So here you can see that the chondrocyte dropout, it means that the chondrocytes have been damaged. Now there is also apoptosis going on, and it is responsible for the diminishing of this whole matrix, right? And there's also the subchondral bone changes. That is what is responsible for the subchondral sclerosis, right? Sclerosis is the hardening. Yes, and what else we can see here is that here you can see this is an exposed surface. So when it comes in contact with the other bone that was above it, yes, so the opposing so with the opposing surface, opposing bone, it would produce the friction, and this friction is responsible for polishing of the bone, and it would just appear like a polished ivory, and this is what is referred to as a bone eburnation, as I've told you that I would discuss it with the help of the figure in the later video or the later part. So yes, I've discussed it. Now the joint mice. So the joint mice is that when these degraded or the dislodged pieces of the cartilages and the subchondral bone, they tumble into joint, so this will form a loose bodies, and these are referred to as a joint mice. Okay, now let's discuss the difference between the osteoarthritis and the rheumatoid arthritis with the help of figure. So here is a clear diagram that is showing you the difference between the osteoarthritis and the rheumatoid arthritis. So here in the osteoarthritis, what you can see is the subchondral sclerosis, that is the subchondral hardening or the subchondral bone damage. Okay, and then we can also see the osteophytes, which are the bony processes or the bony spurs or the bony spikes. And what you can see here is that there's a destruction, or you can say the small fragments that is in the subchondral bone, and that's what forced the synovial fluid into that pit, and this would form the subchondral cyst. All right, then we can also see some, okay, this is thinned and the fibrillated cartilage here. Then there is no ankylosis. Okay, as I've told you in the difference as well, here you can see the ankylosis, and there is no ankylosis in the osteoarthritis. Now let's discuss about the rheumatoid arthritis. So here you can see there is a massive inflammation around the joint, in the soft tissues as well as within the joint. All right, then you can see the pannus. Now what is pannus? Pannus is basically the mass of edematous synovium. All right, and it has some cells in it as well, which are the inflammatory cells. The granulation tissue is there. Their fibroblast, it grows over the articular cartilage and causes the erosion of the articular cartilage, right? So this is what is pannus. Now this pannus can bridge the bones, and this would form the fibrous ankylosis. All right, and this fibrous ankylosis would soon ossify later. Okay, and this would form the bony ankylosis. Now let's discuss the pathogenesis of rheumatoid arthritis. Alright, now here you can see that it is caused by the two things. The susceptibility genes can be like HLA or the PTP N22. All right, as I've told you in the difference. So now the environmental factors can be like infection or the smoking. Now these susceptibility genes would lead to the failure of tolerance, and there would be unregulated lymphocyte activation. Then the environmental factors are responsible for the enzymatic modification. It means that they would cause the citrullination of the self proteins. Now, enzymatic modification means that the enzymes would modify or would cause the post-transcriptional modification of the arginine residues into the citrulline. Alright, then what are these factors gonna do is that now they would cause the activation of the B and T cell responses. So the B and T cell response is against these citrulated proteins, and here you can see that they are going to act against the joint tissues antigen. Okay, now these are the T cells. This is Th17, Th1, and the B cells, and B cells are going to produce the antibodies, and now these lymphocytes, antibodies, and the immune complexes are going to enter the joint, and then they would stimulate some other cells as well, like the fibroblast, chondrocytes that were there in the joint, right? Then the synovial cells as well, and these also release the proteases and cytokines. Now what are these things responsible for? They are actually leading to the formation of the pannus, and I've told you the definition of the pannus, right? So they form the pannus, as well as they would destroy the bone and the cartilage, right? So this is what is the pathogenesis of the rheumatoid arthritis. Now let's compare the normal joint with a rheumatoid joint. So here you can see on the normal side, definitely everything is intact. Here you can see intact synovial membrane, the cartilage, while in the rheumatoid joint, here you can see a lot of inflammation is there. You can see the pannus, all right, and there are many cells, many inflammatory cells are here. You can see the macrophages, the plasma cells are here, the lymphocytes, neutrophils are here, dendritic cells, and immune complexes are present in the rheumatoid joint. Okay, so this was the difference. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.